Hey, how's it going, everybody? Jamie McDonald here with Mike Beaning, and we've got a special guest tonight, David Lawrence. This is episode 5. As we do with all of our other shows, we're going to try to keep this one short and sweet and full of cool information for you guys. I guess tonight, though, we kind of want to lead off the show by giving a shout out to a totally cool guy who has been devoting countless hours to developing the Mirrorless Minutes website for us. His name is Terry McKay, and if you get a minute, I'm going to put the links in the YouTube video description so you can visit his site, and I'd like you to, if you get a chance, swing over to his site and check him out. And every time you are on the Mirrorless Minutes website, just remember that Terry McKay is the guy he's the Wizard of Oz. He's the guy behind the curtain. He's the one doing all the hard work, all the legwork for us. And
didn't he message us like on a Monday night, and by Tuesday afternoon we had a website put together?
Yes, he messaged us and said, "Hey, what do you guys think about setting up a Mirrorless Minutes website? Do you guys own the domain?" And I messaged him back, said, "Yeah, I own the domain." And literally within the hour, he's like, "Okay, I've got this set up for you right now." And I'm like, "What? Are you kidding me? You set up a site already?" He's like, "Yeah,
the magic of the internet."
Yeah, it was stunning just how fast he did this. So I forwarded the domain off to where he's got it all set up, and it's just we've been kind of feeding in little tidbits of information, reviews, news stories, whatever, into that site. So again, I can't even thank Terry enough. Terry was cool enough to drive all the way over to my side of the state for the photo walk that I did, so I could actually meet him and shake his hand in person. I can't talk highly enough about the guy. It's pretty cool. Such a high energy, fun guy. So.
Yeah, we'll have him on, the next couple of times here.
Oh yes, definitely.
Have him on. Well, I think his site is called Got Shot Photo.
Yes.
He's always running around people on the street saying, "Hey, you need to get shot right now." So, shot. He's out on my side of town. We've shot a few times in Detroit. I think people are getting taken back when he's always saying, "Hey, you need to get shot right now." It's like, okay.
And with his personality and his energy level, it works. You know what I mean? I couldn't pull that off. If I said that, I'd probably get punched. So, but with Terry, definitely he can pull that off. So.
Yeah.
Was he the guy at the shoot with the "I shoot people" T-shirt on?
Yes, he was.
Okay,
there you go, David. You picked him out without even saying.
Yeah, I totally took a portrait of him because I had to keep that shirt for reference.
Cool, super cool. So, again, just thank you, Terry. Can't even pay you back, possibly. I don't even know how. So. And I guess we could kind of segue from mentioning that Terry was at the walk to talking about the walk. So most photographers that are avid internet users probably are familiar with the fact that Scott Kelby does an annual photo walk, and that happened to be last weekend. I host one here in Michigan every year for at least, I think it was my 4th one. And I hosted one this past weekend in the state capital of Lansing, and it turned out it was so beautiful. The last 2 photo walks that I did were miserable weather. It was rainy and it was cold. This past week was just stunningly beautiful. It was a perfect fall day in Michigan. The colors were changing. The weather was comfortable, and turnout was incredible. And before we talk too much about the photo walk, I just want to thank everybody that came, because having all those people turn out for the walk is what makes the walk a success. I think my count was 56 people. And I know that there were some people that had turned up a little bit later in the walk that made mention of that fact too. So pretty good turnout for me. I was pretty impressed with the number of people that showed up, and it looked like everybody had a great time. I got to loan out a lot of cool gear from Olympus. They were there. They flew somebody in for the walk, and she brought goodies for everybody. Everybody got OMD hats. I think Mike's sporting one of those right now.
Yep.
Yeah. And right here, I got to give a huge shout out to Borrow Lenses. They provided over $300 worth of stuff for the walk. They provided T-shirts, 2 $150 gift certificates that I got to hand out to people that could be used for rentals. People like Olympus and Borrow Lenses make these walks even more fun than they normally would be. So big thanks to those guys. I have pictures to share from the walk, but because I run my mouth so much, I don't want to hog the entire show. So I'll let you guys share what you guys have first. And since David's the guest on the show, if David's ready, I'd be honored to have him share some of the shots that he took on the walk first, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can get some of those ready. I will say while I'm doing that it was super cool to meet people that you only talk to like on the internet, at these things. So like you, Jamie, I met maybe once before this, and but we have a Facebook group that we're a part of, and so I got to meet a bunch of people that I only know them really from their photos and from their user icon on there.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. And I got to hang out with Seth and his wife, his very patient and lovely wife. And we had a lot of fun with some other folks from Jackson, and just walking around town. And I had always imagined that I'd like these people in real life, maybe. But it was nice to see that actually justified and stuff. All right, so I'm going to share my screen here just because I just want to show off a few of these, and I hope this works. Everybody says okay?
Yeah.
So there was a zombie walk in town that day, and so it's kind of like if you're a zombie, you're going into a hornet's nest of photographers, because we were all ready with our cameras and gear and stuff like that, ready to take some shots. So while everybody was doing that, like I tried to get some behind the scenes stuff that I thought was super interesting, and so there was these a lot of cute kids in costume. There was a nice looking family here with bright colors on, like primary colors, which I thought was cool. And then little zombies on the steps of the Capitol who were hanging out and celebrating what they were doing and stuff like that, which was a lot of fun. That part of Lansing isn't super interesting, so we stuck to the Riverwalk pretty much to try to get some interesting shots, and then we headed downtown a little bit. We got some pretty good stuff. I'm scrolling through here just to find one that I was particularly proud of.
That little girl.
But it was a good combination of yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's cool.
It was a great, it was a beautiful day, and downtown was kind of hopping that day. And this one I really liked because we went down by the bridge overlooking the Grand River there downtown, and there was a bunch of people all around, but I just, I like to grab people shots while I'm downtown in areas like this. So I really like this one, just the little guy up there with the bridge down below. So I don't know. Those are just some of mine from the day.
Minimalism, man. That's a good shot.
Yeah, thank you.
So we're looking at your photos, and one of the things I was excited about having you on for, aside from the fact that I follow your work on Flickr, I love the way you shoot, but aside from that, so the premise of our show is all about mirrorless cameras, and so far we've been pretty much monopolizing the entire show with Micro Four Thirds. So I was ecstatic to be able to have somebody on that shoots not Micro Four Thirds to kind of round out what we've been doing lately. So do you want to talk a little bit about what system you're carrying as far as mirrorless is concerned?
Yeah, sure. Well, so that Saturday was super busy because we had the photo walk, in the morning and then in the afternoon, and so I brought my Fuji XE1 with me to that one, which is a nice little, Fuji does this rangefinder style mirrorless camera, and I've got a 27 millimeter 2.8 on there, and it's an APS-C, so it's not, it's not full frame, it's not mirror or 4/3, it's kind of in between there. They usually call it crop frame. So I took that with me to Lansing because it's a nice street photography camera. Like it's not super obvious with a big thick lens staring people in the face. It kind of gets out of the way. It's light, which is nice to carry around town. So that's kind of my, when I go visit a new place and just walk around town taking photos, I like to take the Fuji. And the files that come out of there are gorgeous. I mean, I love the colors, I love the sharpness of the photos and those kind of things. But then later that night, we had a zombie walk in Jackson, too, where I'm from. And so for that one, just for something different, I brought my Canon M, Canon's little mirrorless camera, which I still have trouble finding a camera that takes better photos than that does for being just a little tiny camera and a $100 lens. It's 22. I don't have it right here. It's a 22 millimeter f2 lens, but it's super tiny. I mean, this is it,
Oh, wow.
like you guys carry with the 4/3 stuff.
Yeah.
That's small.
But it's a 22 millimeter lens, which on an APS-C sensor is 35 millimeter equivalent, and it's just a perfect walking around camera. It's heavier and denser than the Fuji is, so I feel like I could pound a nail with it. And I don't know, the files just look different, and it has some different characteristics that I like carrying it around with. But I'll share with you one of the photos that I took at the Jackson Zombie Walk with it. This one's of me as a zombie, which you can see like this was at f2.0 or something like that, so you get a nice background blur and that kind of thing. So, but I love the color rendition of it. And the sharpness of it is really, really cool for being such kind of a cheapo lens on it, and but the sensor is just top notch on it. So those are the two mirrorless cameras that I kind of use, Fuji and the Canon. And then I'm a regular like Canon DSLR shooter. I've got a 70 at work, and I've got a Rebel that I use here at home with a full line of Canon EF lenses. So I kind of have my hands in both worlds, but the mirrorless stuff definitely has the benefit of being lighter, being smaller, easier to carry around, and I call it my throw in the front seat camera. Like, it's just, if I'm going somewhere, I just throw it in the front seat and bring it with me wherever I go.
Yeah, there's never a reason to not have a camera with you when they're that size, and they're pretty unobtrusive. They don't get in the way at all. And I totally forgot that you had the Canon EOS M too. So you're like a man of big bag of tricks you have there. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looked like you were in character at the Jackson walk.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had to go downtown, change really quick, and then participate with everybody else. So it was a busy day.
Yeah,
well, it definitely was. We said that to a couple of zombies, didn't we, Jamie? I think like they were just sort of walking, like, out for a Saturday stroll, and I go, "You guys got to get in character."
Yeah,
got to act the part.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was too nice and bright outside to be a zombie.
Kind of hard to set the mood.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So you got something you want to share, Mike, or?
Yeah, let's see where I'm going here. Let me get that up, and okay, can you see that?
Yes, sir.
The dude with the beard. This guy was great. He was waiting for the zombies. Actually, this guy was down by the river, where you probably were too, Dave, when you got that one shot. This is with an EM1 and the 12 to 40 Pro lens. He just had a pipe. It's hard to tell probably on here on a YouTube video or whatever, but amazing, inscriptions on the pipe, and if you blow up into his glasses, you can see the Olympus right on my camera, right through those glasses. So it was a pretty cool dude just waiting there. Let's see, and here's my zombie bokeh, Jamie. This is with the 40 to 150, all the way out to 150, and where this lady was running around inviting everybody to her party that night, but she was playing with some kids there. But I'll tell you what, I can't say enough about that lens. I mean, I've probably said it to 20 people, and I know my wife's thinking, "What is your problem?" Because I ran home and told her about it. I mean, it just focuses so fast. It's crazy. I can't wait to get that thing. I've got a couple basketball jobs this weekend. I've got to shoot for a young team, and I said, man, we get that darn thing. But it's going to be pretty good. It's sooner the better when we get it here. Here's our next zombie. I mean, a couple of people at least acting a little bit in character. I was running around with that fisheye, the 9mm fisheye lens, and just really jamming it. I mean, the best way I could say it is just jamming it in their faces.
Yep.
I was trying to get people as close as I could to the lens, and then I went through this one just to get it even, because it was so nice and beautiful outside. I looked at that thing. I said, it just doesn't seem right. It needs some kind of distractions. But threw it into that Analog Effects Pro 2 from Nick Software and did some odd stuff with it, with some motion and that, just to get these people to come out. But it was a nice couple. I don't know what they were going on a date.
They're such cute zombies. They're like romantic zombies.
Yeah, and that girl really, that is a real big ring in her nose, by the way.
Yeah.
I think the fish I made it look a little small for some reason, but that's what caught my eye actually. There's the beautiful day right there. I just couldn't believe how great that was. This was right towards the end of the walk. Taken with I think, what did I have this one? This was on the EM10 with a 25 millimeter prime. But the day was just, I mean, you're right, Jamie. It was like a perfect fall day. And then the Capitol sticking up there, knowing that later that night we'd be doing light painting on it. But yeah, that's Capitol. And then I got, after they lifted the hood off my head, Jamie'd take me out to the barn, so I wouldn't know the location. Like I was on his episode of 24. But I got to see the barn, and I came home when I actually dumped my shoes out. I had 4 soybeans in my shoes that day. Bugging the crap out of here. Yeah, but again, the barn is cool. I'll give Jamie all the props in the world on that thing. I can absolutely see where you could shoot that day in and day out. And then I saw that one you posted today with the tree.
Yeah.
That had to be. What happened to that tree? Was it lightning strike or just wind?
I went up to the tree before it had actually fallen down.
Mm-hmm.
I swear, I'm pretty certain that at one point it was struck by lightning. Just if you've ever seen a tree that's been struck by lightning, you can kind of tell how they end up growing weird. One half of the tree died, the other half continued on, and then finally we had a bad storm last year and it took it completely down. Kind of bummed me out.
Yeah, that was a really sharp picture with that tree in it. But this thing turned out to be great for portraits. We did all kinds of stuff. The only thing we didn't do, I think, is stay around for light painting on it.
Yeah.
So that's the next time, right?
Right, exactly.
Gorgeous light in that shot. Really nice light. The way it's shining on the barn, it's perfect.
Yeah, and it was pretty darn bright, and that soybean there was, I don't know, what's that, about 3 to 4 foot high?
That's probably, it's about 3 foot. Yep.
Yeah, about 3 foot high. But yeah, they don't go down easily when you're trying to walk through them. You're trying not to break them. So, but that's my.
Zombies in the field?
No.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, my turn, eh?
Yeah, your turn.
I love doing the screen share thing. All right, so I'm going to start off with, I really didn't take a whole lot of photos. I'm one of those people that if you get me in a group, well, hell, if you get me here with just 2 of you guys, it's hard for me to stop talking. So I did more talking probably than shooting, I guess. But as we were walking during the photo walk, I noticed a group of BMX bikers kind of a ways off in the distance. So I told the other people in my group, I said, hey, let's go over here and check these guys out for a little bit. So I walked up as they were riding, and they saw the camera, and I had the 40 to 150 on, so it's a bigger lens, so they immediately saw the camera, and I got out a business card and handed it to them and said, hey, do you mind if I snap a few shots of you guys riding? I'm not really good at the street photography thing, so my approach I learned from my buddy Dave Bastador is bust out a card, give them a card, offer them the opportunity to get some of the photos that you're shooting, and then people kind of, for me, they seem to loosen up a bit, once they see that, you're not some weirdo with a camera. So they just started riding.
Well.
Yeah, right, until they get to know me.
Right.
So they proceeded to just kind of have a ball with everything. I've been experimenting a lot, like the last 6 months or so with setting up like my own kind of a black and white presetting camera. I do this a lot, and it's something I'm constantly fiddling with. So this one is actually straight out of camera, monotone. I shoot, RAW plus JPEG. The JPEG comes out looking like this. And this was shot with the 40 to 150. This isn't cranked out to a long focal length. This is just at 40 millimeters. But for me, I just kind of wanted to test how fast I could get focus on somebody that was moving. And I had no problem getting this kid. This next photo was the last photo I got to take before the state police arrived and proceeded to get everybody's driver's licenses and temporarily detain us. But I just I like the shot. I like the expressions on pretty much everybody's face in this. You know, it's a pretty intense moment for these kids. Another thing that I decided to experiment with that I don't do often enough, which I really, wish I would, is the dual exposures. So this is all done in camera. It's pretty easy to do. After the photo walk, I'm going to share kind of from the same location that Mike did. We decided to go out to what I call my barn, and it was Mike, a buddy of mine, Mark Miller, David Bostador, and Jennifer from Olympus. We all caravanned out to the secret location, I'll call it, I guess. And it's funny, you get a group of photographers around, and you see a lot of pictures of other people taking pictures. So naturally, we had a group of us all in the fields, and everybody at one point is pointing their camera at somebody else. It probably looks absurd. If you were from another country or another planet looking at this, you would wonder what in the hell is wrong with this species. But this was this was me. I was again playing with the 40 to 150, but with the 1.4 teleconverter on it because it's a new acquisition for me. I had never even seen the teleconverter before that day. So this is out at 210 millimeters at f4, and again, I'm gonna go into Olympus fanboy mode. I'm just floored at how sharp everything comes out of that lens. It's just insane. Mike also mentioned that we didn't stick around long enough to light paint the barn, but what he didn't say is that we did go back to Lansing to the state capitol to light paint, and Mike is one of those people that has all kinds of toys. And Mike brought the pixel stick with him, which is, again, a first for me. I'd never seen a pixel stick in real life. It is a phenomenally cool tool to play with. So we did some light painting at the Capitol. And this is my friend. She works for Olympus. Her name's Jennifer. And we decided to do a little test portrait with her on the steps, So we ran up along the stairs with the pixel stick and just painted this ribbon, and then had her run up, stand on the steps, and kind of as a second curtain thing by hand, we popped Mike's big Nikon SB900. I think it's just this monster flash, and we lit her up. So we had a ball light painting with the pixel stick, and I even got to do a little branding of the painting with the pixel stick. Very fun toy to play with, and actually I have one being delivered probably tomorrow. So pretty floored with that whole thing, and thanks to Mike for bringing that because it was super cool to get to play with. It was just a great day. The whole thing was just a wonderful experience. The photo walk, everybody was so nice and had fun, and then after the photo walk was done, we got to travel around in a big group and shoot a bunch of cool locations. So great time. And that's all I have to share, and I'll stop talking for a minute. I think you're on mute still, Mike.
All right, how's that?
That's much better.
All right, good deal. Yep. You want to discuss the pick here that I got?
Yes, I do, because it's a really
towards the end. Yeah, we put it out. Actually, if you go out to the Mirrorless Minutes website, designed by Terry McKay.
There you go.
I have to put that into quotes now all the time. But I just wrote a little thing on it, but picked it up. It's this 5-day deal, and it's going through, I believe, the 20th of October. And just a bunch of photographers, very good instructional photographers, got together, some very big names in the business, and they have over 40 items, and things like, I grabbed a list here, Photoshop for photographers by Serge Ramelli, great instructor. Zach Arias is in there doing some lighting things, so all kinds of Lightroom presets, mastering Lightroom ebooks, just a tremendous amount of items. I mean, if you're a portrait photographer or landscape, there's something for everybody here. What I noticed they didn't contact Mirrorless Minutes though for something Mirrorless from us, so we'll have to write them for next year, Jamie.
Yes, indeed.
We'll have to get on there, but either way, we'll say over 40 items. They estimate it to be about $2,000 worth of items for $89, and I bought into this thing last year, and I still pull out things to look at that I've never even had a chance to read because there were so many of them. I would get out there, check it out. All the links are on our Mirrorless Minutes website. We'll throw the link to it too in the show notes on YouTube. But if you can get out there, I think you've only got about 5 more days, 4.5 more days, and definitely worth it. And hopefully they come back next year and include some local guys. So.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Mike, you said presets. Are those a lot of ebooks and stuff too? Is that what the package consists of?
Ebooks and some instructional videos, and then the Lightroom presets. It looks like almost everybody threw together their favorite presets, which is always nice to have. When you're messing around and you're trying to find something else to do. There's one for Jamie right there. Stormy Skies Lightroom presets. That should be for Jamie McDonald right there. Yeah. But,
we have a few minutes. Do you want to talk a little bit about the workshop that you've got coming up this weekend? I think people would be interested to learn what you do aside from this podcast and your day job. So. Yeah.
What we've got this weekend, we're going downtown Detroit, and if you've heard of Greektown. We're not going to go down there. We actually are going to eat. You don't go to Greektown and not eat. That's one thing.
That's right.
You have to do. So we're actually going to start by eating, and at the same time we'll have a little presentation that I put on. But what we're going to do here is do street photography at night, which is a whole different ball game because the people that walk around Greektown at night. They're lively. We'll just put it that way. They're uninhibited, usually pretty lively. So that should be fun. And you're going to have to crank up your ISO. You'd be shooting at 6,400, 8,000, 10,000. Whatever you can get the picture in. And some people I'm positive I'll probably stick around a little bit later with a tripod and do some live composite with the people mover going by and the Greektown casino in the rear there. But it's a nice workshop. We sold it out. We have 12 great photographers coming in to go through all the things, and we'll shoot for about 2.5 hours. And it looks like a good evening as far as weather, so it'll be cool. But that doesn't stop the people usually coming down to the casino and hanging out around Greektown. There'll be a lot of artists and stuff outside and that, so it'll be a lot of fun. Check that out, and I don't know how many more how many more street shooting workshops we're going to get out of Detroit this year with the weather, but for sure this will be a fun one. And if you haven't gone, you got to check out Greektown.
Good food.
Yeah, exactly.
And gambling if you like the gambling.
And gambling. Yeah, I won't bring that up, but yep, and gambling.
So another thing that I'll talk about really quick, because one of our viewers, Victoria, has asked me to mention the Envision Photo Festival coming up in November in Pennsylvania. It's something that Olympus sponsors. It takes place in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, at this big retired steel mill that's kind of being repurposed as an arts community. There's an art center there. There's like a convention center. But the Envision Photo Festival runs November 7th, 8th, and 9th, and there are all kinds of very cool opportunities for photographers who are in that area, or I know some people are actually driving there from here to attend. There are going to be workshops. The whole thing is sponsored by Olympus, so you can expect that there are going to be things that are being put on by Olympus. So we've got 2 people that are in the Olympus Visionary Program, Tracy McGlasky and Laura Hicks, are both going to be doing a 2-part workshop on getting better photos with your kids. So it's kind of one of those workshops where one of them is on one day going to kind of get you familiarized with good settings to use with your camera, how to compose shots with your kids, the things you'd want to know about taking photos with your kids. They're going to have guest speakers there. They're going to have like a big event where we go to this humongous sculpture garden and we'll walk around. It'll kind of be like a photo walk, but everybody that's in the Visionary Program is going to be on hand to just kind of work with people there. There is a whole big list of things that are going on. It's like a big party for 3 days, and it's just so fun. if you're a photography freak and you just happen to be in Pennsylvania, it's worth the drive if you're in Philly to come down and check it out. I know that there will be several people from Philadelphia that are driving down just for this event. Again, it's the Envision Photo Festival, and I will post a link to their page on the show description. It's a great. This will be my 3rd year going, and it's phenomenal. And I'll tell you what, if I wasn't in the Olympus program and I knew about it, it's probably something I would consider doing the drive for to go back to again anyways, because it's that fun to attend. They always have great guests. This year's no exception either. So I'll share that too. So I just wanted to answer Victoria's question about asking if I'll plug that or not. So I had to get that in there.
Yeah, for sure.
And before we go,
you're a great plugger, Jamie.
Yeah, I'm
Great.
plugging away.
Yep.
So before we go though, David, do you have a website you'd like to share with us where we can find your work, or anything you'd want people to come check out from you?
Yeah, my Flickr is probably the best place to find me, because I love Flickr and I love showing my photos on there.
Okay.
And my handle is DaveLawrence8 for everything: Instagram, Twitter, Flickr, everything.
Okay.
But my personal portfolio website is davelawrence.pro.
Okay.
P-R-O. Because Dave Lawrence is a pretty popular name, so I had to pick a cool sounding domain. So pro it was, but I run my blog through there. I run, I do paid work for people, so all my professional stuff is there. But but if you want to network with me as a photographer, I would say Flickr is probably the best place for me.
Cool. I'll make sure that both those links get into the description for this show too, so people can check out your work. Then they'll know why I wanted to have you on. Like I said, adamantly follow your Flickr page. So
I've got to check it out. You've got some great stuff.
Yeah, Mike, we got to get hooked up on there. I don't know if
I think I may be following. I know I checked it out the one day when we said we were going to bring you on. So yeah, we'll get hooked up on that for sure.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
So I guess we've probably touched on all the topics that we wanted to talk about. So this is episode 5, kind of wrapped up. Thank you for everybody that tuned in, and for those who didn't get a chance to tune in. If you're listening to me talk, you're watching the show on YouTube, and if you're watching it on YouTube, just take a second to click that thumbs up button if you liked it. I know you like it, because, come on, we're great guys. Subscribe to us, and don't forget to share with your friends if they're interested in mirrorless cameras or just photography in general. We try to keep it fun, semi-informative, but mostly just fun. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming on, David. Again, it was great to have you, and we definitely want to have you back again, too. So
thanks, gentlemen.
Thanks a lot, David.
And I guess that's the end of our show, folks. Thanks again.
All right.
Take care.
See you later.
Bye. Are we done? Oh no, it's still live. I love this part.
This will be our first sound.
The After Dark.
Yep.